A lot of
Hand
folks,
sanitizer on your eyes?
no, on your cheekbones. So as the alcohol evaporates, it burns your eyes and basically keeps you awake.
Get a 500-pound man to just punch you straight in the face. That'll keep you awake.
This guy. Welcome to Sitting with Superheroes. My name's Mattman, Sir Cape Salad. I'm the comfortable Cape Crusader. I'm on the dream team of the Lake Norman Sweet Dreams Mattress and Furniture crew. We kick butt. And today I'm sitting with superheroes. This superhero in particular is Zach Moore.
Still figuring out my superpower.
You know, is your Zach T. Moore?
Zach T. Moore.
T is in your email, so like T is your middle name?
Mm-hmm. T-E-E.
Oh, okay. Like, literally T-E-E.
Yeah, like a golf tee. It's my dad's middle name, too. And it's my son's middle name, so it was nice to be able to carry something through.
That's a very interesting middle name.
Yeah,
Now,
I like
I
it.
also met another Zach from Beds for Kids, and he, before going, like I had made your name Zach, like Sleepy Z's,
Yeah.
and without any knowing of it or whatever, he went to the same place, like right away. He's just like, dude, my superhero name could be Zach, so I'm not sure if he like took that away from you or
This
not.
was a child who told you this?
No, he's an adult.
Oh, okay.
Beds for Kids, though. He
I
provides
was going to
beds
say
for
that
kids.
kid is way more creative than me. You should hire him.
Well, so do you want me to figure out a different moniker for you? Do you need a new superhero name? Okay, yeah. We're you know what? Yours
I
is
gotta
going to be
brainstorm.
valuable. We'll figure that out. That's the next beer storm.
It can't be my first name because then people would know who I am.
You know,
I couldn't be anonymous as a superhero if they were like,
I don't think this is the kind of
are these
superhero
Clark
anonymity.
Kent glasses? Am I now just like I'm just Zach. I put the glasses on. Now I'm Zach, right?
I don't know. I'm definitely not anonymous. I so I don't think I think if you actually have the legit superpowers and you're trying to be sneaky about it because you don't want
You're more of a
people to-
Tony Stark-esque. You're like, I am Iron Man. I am Mattman.
But I mean, if you could literally pull open a bank vault and walk in and out with a ton of money, you don't want anyone to know that power. So then those people go anonymous, but then they'll use the power for good instead of bad. So if you're only really gonna do good stuff,
Yeah.
there's no anonymity needed, unless
I
guess
know.
fame sucks. Yeah.
Infamous.
All right, so we're working on your name now. But you did bring something to talk about today.
I did.
'Cause
Yes.
It's out there.
It's out there.
It's the Sleeping Bandit and all of the bad guys that I fight to help people get a better night's rest. They're the victims are posting things on social media and on Reddit, and you have been really adept at finding those things.
Yeah. I'm trying to go out there and I'm trying to bring you the people's problems. You know?
Gotcha.
That's how I feel I'm fighting this fight.
All right.
So
Are you my Lois Lane?
I can be.
Oh man, that's okay. Moving on.
Yeah. All right. So the first thing I want to talk. So I have two posts on Reddit that I came across.
Okay.
Yeah, and both having to do with falling asleep at work. And
Oh.
yeah,
Here with the Dream Team at a mattress and furniture store, we call that product testing.
yeah, you're encouraged, I would assume.
I mean, not necessarily like, hey, I'm out for like 2 hours, we'll see ya. But like you are supposed to test a firm mattress and lay on it, even for more than just a few minutes. But perhaps the post you're talking about isn't one of our employees.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Also, before we get to that though, what's the number of customers that have actually fallen asleep in your store?
Oh,
Does that happen?
Yeah, it's like one or two a year, I think.
Really?
Mostly.
Mostly older men?
No, it's all across the board.
Okay.
We've had men and women. One time after Black Friday, a gentleman who had been up, this is like 10 years ago when I'm up at like midnight to be in line was the thing.
Yeah.
Getting
His Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, so he came in at like 11:15. He actually laid down at the time the Rhapsody Tempur-Pedic was on the floor. So he was sawing logs on a Rhapsody for like 2.5 hours. And I told people how firm the mattress was. They bought it because he was sleeping on it.
Yeah.
And then at some point in time,
And then he ended up in somebody else's home because they bought that mattress.
no. But he did wake up and was like, oh, where am I? I need to get out of here. And then I don't think I ever saw him again.
No.
He helped me sell a bed because,
Sure.
That's the best demonstration.
He was embarrassed. He thought like,
yes.
But if you could have talked to him and grabbed him for 30 seconds, you would have been like, hey, man,
Dude.
you helped me out.
Yeah, just like, here's a pillow or something.
Do you think when that happens, people fall asleep in your showroom? Are they usually just like waiting for someone else to be done shopping?
He probably was.
Okay.
And that's why, because like being on Black Friday, that's what I assumed. But then there's other times where we have the stories from the other sales teams that I know of, like people have legitimately shopped and then fallen asleep.
Yeah.
So they're just very relaxed.
Okay.
It's usually a pretty easy sale at that.
I saw a guy sleeping at Lowe's in a rocking chair about a week ago.
Yeah.
That was pretty nuts.
Life goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish.
Okay, so do you
One of
think
my
he-
goals is to sleep anywhere. I
is
wish I
he
could sleep
that
anywhere.
exhausted that he literally passes out in a Lowe's, or am I that comfortable and cool with, hey, I'll zonk out for a few minutes
Yeah.
and I'll be ready to go?
I want to be the second one. I don't know the answer to that question, but if I could be one of those two, I'd want to be the second one.
But this post is like what you're talking about. So people falling asleep at work.
Yeah, so this says that the title of the post is, what do you do to stop falling asleep? What do you do to stop from falling asleep at work? And then they post a little story. I accidentally banged my head on my desk when I dripped it off. I don't drink coffee. What do you do to stay awake?
He doesn't drink coffee.
He does not drink coffee.
Okay. But what about energy drinks?
So a lot of the comments were like, you should drink tea that has caffeine, or like a lot of the comments were suggesting that he gets some form of caffeine. And for me personally, I don't know. That to me, that's like a red flag in a way. Like, I don't think if you're tired, you should just like consume a ton of caffeine. But maybe I just think caffeine's like not that great for you.
The science behind caffeine, it depends. It depends how you use it.
Yeah.
So caffeine can benefit your, like I was just sitting here reading these comments. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so caffeine benefits your metabolism in the
Mm-hmm.
morning, especially because your body has to choose how it's going to burn energy and if it's going to go from your stored fat or your muscle. And if you're drinking caffeine, it kind of pushes it towards the way of burning fat and not your muscle mass. So that's really good.
Sure.
But then if you're drinking caffeine all throughout the day, it takes a long time to leave your body. So now it can interrupt your sleep later, even though it's been 5 or 7 hours since your last cup or your last, like energy drinks are like condensed caffeine. So
Yeah.
I like to drink coffee and tea, but if you drink an energy drink, you could be drinking like several coffees all at once. And, after a while, then you start to become accustomed to it and it's not as effective.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
What?
That like, so I mean, like I'm drinking coffee now. It's in the morning. I feel like I'm accustomed to that, right? But like if you were to like, I'm always tired at 3:00, I'm just gonna start drinking caffeine then.
Yeah.
I feel like you're kind of like, as Taylor Swift would say, a Band-Aid doesn't fix a bullet hole, right? Like you are just going to become like a slave to that caffeine at 3:00.
I mean, maybe
you're
suffer-
adding something into your day that you didn't have before, but now it's going to be really hard to get rid of.
I mean, but like, let's just say that maybe this person's narcoleptic. Maybe they have narcolepsy.
Okay, but that's a medical condition.
But I mean, like, it's also being overcome with the I have to sleep.
Sure.
Like if you're just
But narcolepsy's like involuntary, isn't it?
yeah, no, it's terrible.
But it's not like this guy's like, oh, I'm really drowsy.
True.
I must be narcoleptic.
Actually, looking through the comments, I don't actually see that as a cop out.
No.
I was expecting to see that because
Like maybe you're narcoleptic.
yeah,
Like some WebMD doctor online. Yeah.
Right. But then, the narcoleptic, the people who suffer from narcolepsy also suffer from things like cataplexy, which they just fall over like the marionette when you just let them go. They just fall over, or also then they have that sleep lock or whatever it is when you come out of like sleep and you can't move and you're paralyzed and it's terrifying. So, but he doesn't say any of that. He's just drowsy
just
at the same time of day.
super tired. Well, I mean, he's banged his head on his desk. I'm assuming this is a guy. Could be a girl, I guess, too. He banged his or her head on the desk. So the first comment that has the most upvotes, though, is one that doesn't involve caffeine. And this person says, I take a quick 15-minute walk every day at 2 because 3 o'clock was my doze off time typically. And I don't doze off anymore. So a quick 15-minute walk, which I think that is where I would want to start rather than just like supplementing with caffeine. Get away if you can, I guess.
Yeah.
Get away from your desk, go take a 15-minute walk, right?
Yeah. Check the mail or something.
Or like go to your car to grab a, I don't know.
One of my buddies in Run Club told me that he does two things. He either takes a 30-minute nap or runs for 30 minutes on his hour lunch break. But that's at noon.
Yeah.
But that's just so that he kind of just feels great in the afternoon.
And that's kind of what this person's saying, though, is they're saying that this commenter said that 3 o'clock was their doze off time. So they started taking a walk at 2, not take a walk at 3. So I think there's something to be said there where your buddy is doing it at noon. I don't think your friend was doing it to like stave off a drowsiness, but like getting ahead of it is kind of where I'm going, right? Is like rather than waiting until 3 o'clock, like maybe you should just do it at 2 so that way you're not waiting right up until the minute.
All right, the comments truly make this post amazing because this one guy's like, hand sanitizer on your cheekbones. Used as the alcohol evaporates, it creates a very unique burning sensation on your eyes. But you don't also want the office to think that you're doing drugs. Like, I'm sure, like, that's like, I'm looking like, what? See, are you okay?
Yeah.
A lot of
hand
folks,
sanitizer on your eyes?
No, on your cheekbones. So as the alcohol evaporates, it burns your eyes and it basically keeps you awake.
Get a 500-pound man to just punch you straight in the face. That'll keep you awake.
This guy named Sock Gorilla says, I do a little speedball. Everyone at the office does it to keep up with the pace. Is that like they're...
Yeah, sure.
Like, like a sport or something?
I don't think speedball is a sport.
Oh, God. That's ridiculous. That's worse than... So that's bad. Okay.
They must be a broker on Wall Street.
I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm really old.
No.
Okay.
Old? That's like old.
Oh.
There's no one Gen Z doing speedballs.
I don't know. So I guess I thought because they said the whole office. So
Well,
I thought
yeah.
like the whole office was going out.
I think that's a Wolf of Wall Street type of situation we got going on there.
I was actually proud of the guy because I literally thought they were doing like an exercise together. Like, hey, does anyone else does this guy suffer?
I think you're thinking of skee ball.
Thank you. Well, no, actually pickleball.
Pickleball.
Yeah, because I see that in the morning.
It's hot right now.
Yeah, but then is this guy alone? Like, do you ask your other your fellow coworkers, hey, does anybody else feel tired? Like, I just need 15 minutes. Can we do an activity really quick?
I used to go on 15-minute walks with one of my coworkers, James, all the time.
So then, but one guy says, you can get caffeine other ways of like chocolate, sodas, cheese.
Yeah, that's almost worse than anything. The energy drinks and the soda's got to be the worst. You see this one where this guy says, rub peppermint oil together in your hands and take a big whiff?
Correct.
But that seems so short-lived. There's no way that you could just rub peppermint oil, take a smell, and then be like, oh, that totally like woke me up for the rest of the day. This guy's on some essential oil.
You're not wrong. Well, but you're not wrong. It's temporary. So there's science behind probably what's happening to this person's brain. So and it starts with how they sleep at night. If you're not sleeping, if you're not getting good quality sleep at night, you're probably going to be tired in the middle of the day. So there's no getting off this struggle bus without doing some techniques like that short term. But then you also have to attack the evening and the quality of the sleep you get for the long term. So let's put it like this. So what is happening in his brain or in the person's brain is at night you have this hormone and it's not melatonin. I forget the name of it. It's like Adelene or something close to it. But it builds
I think
up
that
in your
was a
brain.
song.
And it builds up in your brain, and while you sleep, you get rid of it. So
Mm-hmm.
you have it. That's in Matthew Walker. Where's the book? I just had the book because I just finished the book.
It's over there.
Oh no, it's right here.
It's under your iPad.
It's all in. This is the book I'm quoting. So as that hormone builds up in your brain, he calls it sleep pressure, which is different from melatonin and your circadian rhythm. But then as this sleep pressure builds, then you begin to fall asleep. So let's say the guy is only sleeping 6 hours a night. Your body needs 8 hours to clean out 100% of that hormone. So when he wakes up after a 6-hour night of sleep or an 8 hour of poor quality sleep, he's only gotten 80% of the hormone out of his brain.
Right.
So he goes into today with 20% of that hormone still stuck in there. And then about 3 o'clock, as it starts to build up again, that's where he's starting to get a sleepy time signal from pressure, from built up sleep pressure from poor quality sleep. Chronically, people who have chronic sleep deprivation have this. You wake up, you still feel tired, even though I slept 8 hours last night. But it takes good sleep doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time because you have to get all of that out. You don't get 100% of that built up hormone out of your brain in one night. You might go from 20% left over to 18 to 15 with good sleep over time. So you really have to work at that. So the short-term methods of like, I'm tired. Well, I gotta ride the struggle bus. Here's my peppermint. Here's my alcohol on my eyes. Like I look like, like whatever. And you make it until like the 8 o'clock time frame or whatever it is that you then sleep. You have to survive. Or somebody says activity, great. You literally have to distract yourself to the point where you get to bed on time and wake up on time. And after a few days of doing that, you should have righted the ship.
Yeah.
And you no longer have a sleep deficit.
I wonder too, like maybe this person's just super bored with their job, right? Like, what if your job is just super boring? I mean, isn't it possible you could be doing all these things that you're like saying all the right stuff, but then still just like wanting to fall asleep because you're just so bored?
I guess.
I don't know.
But then what do you do if your job is that boring?
Get a new job.
I mean, I guess it's time, because one of the other suggestions on this thing is, what do I do if I'm or what do you do when you're falling asleep, or how do I prevent myself from falling asleep?
Yeah.
Is literally this, to scroll on Reddit and be on your phone. So if you're that bored and you're just that, like,
See, I feel like that would make me fall asleep. I don't know. That would like hypnotize you. But I also wonder too what they're eating for breakfast and lunch. Like if it's too carbs and too sugar heavy, like my friend Lauren, who's a nutritionist in Greensboro, I was just talking to her over the weekend, and she said she always says fiber, fat, and protein. Like you want all your meals to have those three things, and that's like the most important three things to have to like keep you more satisfied and all this better throughout the day.
Interestingly enough, that's probably I wouldn't go down the nutrition side of it and what this person's eating for lunch every day.
Yeah.
Because it's so tricky, and everybody's metabolism is different. I guess everyone's sleep habits are different too, but that is true. Like, so if you're eating like a big heavy lunch, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. So then what do there's probably like a myriad of things that this person has to like, let's like write down what I'm doing on a daily basis to figure out, like, and now I'll cut the lunch first, or I'll increase the sleep first and see if there's any improvement.
Yeah, I don't know. We had another one too, another thread that says, How in heaven's way do you stay awake at work? I have the tendency that whenever I start working after lunch, I start falling asleep, and everyone around me is still working like they're full of energy. How do you guys stay awake? So this is like kind of in the same vein, where this person feels like singled out in a way.
Yeah.
Because they just feel like I'm alone in this,
That's
which
actually
I don't
really,
think is true.
but well,
Like they're not alone, is what I'm just saying.
yeah. No, that's
But see, they specifically mentioned lunch in a lot of these comments. I noticed that if I cut out bread or just eat smaller meals when I take lunch, I'm more awake. What are you eating for lunch usually? Heavy carbs make you sleepy. Um, when I feel like I'm losing energy, I usually throw out a Ric Flair, woo, and clap my hands once really hard. Usually I can get someone else to woo with me, makes people laugh, wakes me up. Why do I feel like that's you coming in here and leaving that comment?
I promise I did not make that comment. I've never seen this post before. And if the name isn't
Now,
something sleep related,
if
then it
only
definitely wasn't me.
Do you watch WWE, or like when you were a kid, did you watch wrestling?
Yeah,
You're familiar with Ric Flair.
Woo!
Yeah. But he would do that when he would like chop someone on the chest. So I feel like you got to take that a step further, and you got to take your shirt off, have someone come up and chop you on the chest while you do the woo.
Yeah,
Like that's the only way to really make it authentic.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, oh man, I just kind of like put myself in the shoes. Like, what? So that's even when you read a lot of the stuff like I'm falling asleep at work, and then even when you said you're bored, but then here's a person who wants to change, like they feel like a victim of it. That is truly, to me, that's heartbreaking, because how do they? There is no shortage of energy or lack of that person's body to create what they want. But then today's environment and today's technology, they just don't have the education to control what they can actually control. Or if they are eating an extremely unhealthy lunch,
Yeah.
I've been there. You eat.
Who hasn't?
You feel super hungry, so you go get a meal, but it's like a processed food, and it sucks.
The best kind.
Delicious for your taste buds, but
Yeah.
absolutely nutritiously bankrupt for your metabolism, and so they're just gonna
gonna
be
happen, though.
stuck.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks. I don't know how to help that person.
Well, I mean, maybe we should just make naps more agreeable with work culture, right?
No. Naps are a shortcut. And okay, so is your sleep a 911? If you're like, do we need to fearmonger everybody into better sleep habits? If you
Meaning what? Like if you don't sleep, you're gonna die.
Because I've seen that's how some people sell the help, is they'd be like, dude, like you are literally going to come down with diabetes, amnesia, Alzheimer's if you don't start sleeping good tonight.
These are like sleep con men therapists or something.
No, it's just that's their style.
Okay.
That's their style. But then to a person that literally sees everyone around them that, you know, that has energy, that has better habits, but can't get there themselves, you know, that like that's, to me, that's the person that is the most vulnerable. It would cost them more just to stay awake. It costs them because they can't earn, they can't produce because they're exhausted. But that, you know, you don't. What I was getting at there is, if you feel like you stay awake all the time and you don't need a nap during the day and your energy levels are okay, you're probably sleeping okay. And my shtick with the game plan for better sleep is, if you believe that you sleep great, awesome. But based off of all the knowledge and stuff that I've read, we can't prove to ourselves that we sleep as good as we possibly can. So when I'm planning out my sleep, I'm planning out sleep opportunity. I don't get all the sleep every time I plan a sleep opportunity. So if I'm only planning for 7.5 hours, I'm getting less than that. It takes me a few minutes to fall asleep, and I'll wake up a couple times at night.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, if you just start to look and improve the things by 1%, eventually, like, even if you say you sleep great, but I'm still going to focus on getting better sleep, you're going to work through problems like that guy's having. Or the people that he sees have energy, he will see have, like, incredibly higher levels of it. And then, you know, but how do you get to that guy? Like, how do you change that guy's worst habits without him coming to a terrible, health scare. Because he's asking for help. He's aware he's needs the help. But then how do you get to him?
I have no idea.
That's the goal of me. That one makes me sad. I think that one's gonna follow. That one's gonna live rent free in my brain for a while.
Rent free.
I
think all of these are gonna make you sad. That's kind of the point of this show.
I don't know.
How sad can we make Mattman?
Not until tonight's rest, because then this book was amazing. So REM sleep will detach your emotions from the experiences you have, so that you can recall things and not be as saddened by them. So then, that's why I plan on my sleep, so that I can mush through this and try to figure out a plan.
Yeah.
A game plan. Because the sleeping bandit, this guy isn't even affected by caffeine chameleon, maybe. Like the guy who made this post. Like, he doesn't drink caffeine. He posted on here a few times.
The first person, yeah.
the OP, the original poster, said he can't drink caffeine due to a medical condition. So doesn't drink, medical condition prevents you from drinking caffeine. Man, you really got to lean into sleep habits at that point, because how else, sleep and nutrition, because how else do you get energy?
Yeah.
Everyone else has the shortcut of a cup of coffee or an energy drink. Ugh.
Yeah.
Now I'm just grateful that I don't have that I don't have that condition.
I mean, I've definitely been there.
Like, I've been there.
I used to take naps in my car.
Drowsy driving is like the number one killer next to DUI.
Not while I was driving.
Well, I'm just saying in general, though. Like, yeah, okay, at work.
My cruise control's not that good.
You go out to your car and on a work break, and you just take 5.
But a lot of that was from the night before. That was a lot of Monday mornings.
He wrote on here too, or somebody wrote on here. I guess it's mostly because I'm training for something right now, so it's super boring. So
they're doing like training videos? Oh, that's the worst. You should fall asleep during those. Those are pointless.
No. I mean, well, if the training sucks, it could be tough. But it also can be tough to focus. Like if your brain needs to do
If the training is just sitting you in front of a screen and telling you to watch videos for a 5-hour shift, you should just go home and like go do anything else. You're not going to get anything out of that.
Well, I think also too, like, so like as you're trying to learn and you're trying to like write memories in your brain, and your brain is like, you know what? You didn't really get a good night's sleep last night. I got better things to do. Shift.
Yeah.
So, but that sounds like you got to lead up the chain and let your boss know, like, hey man, this stuff is really boring.
Right.
Or, feedback. And you're paying it forward for the next guy in that case.
Yeah, as long as your boss isn't an a-hole.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't really know how to solve if it's boring. But if you're exhausted, there's definitely a solution. And it starts with identifying probably the nutrition that you eat before, like a few hours before, or the sleep you get the night after, or the night before.
Right, yes.
So if you're able to just figure out which of those two are your weak points, then you can make a game plan. So tell you what, though, just in case, for anyone out there that needs help making a game plan, put me in, coach. Woo! Because I'm not short of any energy at all. But tell you what, so yeah, all you do, check us out. Well, we're at the sleepsuperhero.com, or the video here is hosted by fam.news. And so that's going to conclude this week's adventure of sitting with superheroes.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a lot more work for us to do out there.
A lot of people.
Sounds like we need to get a good night's sleep. I need some superpowers.
Yeah.